Welcome back. Well, it is the season of open enrollment, and here to talk about taking advantage of open enrollment, we are joined by Mark Matthews with Edward Jones. Mark, thank you for joining us today.
You bet, Mary Grace. Glad to be here.
Glad to be talking with you. So we have some tips, some areas to be looking at here. If you work for a mid-sized, large company, be able to review your employee benefits package. So we're considering options carefully, and now's the time to make appropriate changes if need be. So Mark, what are some key areas to be looking at if we're deciding if there are any changes to be made?
Yeah, so one of the primary areas is to make sure that you're taking advantage, well, retirement planning in general, and this is when you kind of designate how much you want to have withheld from your paycheck. If that's offered, you want to make sure you do at least enough to capture your employer's match, and really that may not be enough to really get you where you want to be. And so be sure you contribute what you can, maybe tweak it up a little bit from last year. If you've had any kind of increase in pay, use that as an opportunity to increase your contribution a little bit, a percent or two, and try to bump that up a little bit each year, because your costs go up every year. Your future costs will keep going up, so you're not going to have too much in most cases.
Very good tip. So we're reviewing our contribution amounts there and making that all settled. Mark, I know another one to look at is life insurance. What factors should we be evaluating there when determining things like how much insurance we need for life insurance?
Right. So some of the main things that go into that would be how much is your mortgage if you have one. If you have children that are at home still and you hope to educate them in some way, having funds for that, replacing income from you or your spouse. And so there's no one size fits all for anyone, and some plans may not let you get enough to cover all those things, but see what it offers, see what you'd like to have if you had your choice in the matter, and plug that in, because that's easy to qualify for. I'm not saying it's the cheapest out there, but you don't have to do anything besides sign up and pay for it.
Right.
And so, it's better to have that than not have anything at all.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what about disability insurance? Is that something we should also be looking at?
Yeah, a lot of plans may offer some at no cost. I won't say it's inexpensive, because it's not. The younger you are, away from age 65, it will cost more, because your potential time to use it costs more. That'd be something to look at, maybe a comparison shop. I'm not saying everybody has that, but it's worth taking at least a little bit of a peek at. I'd say probably more importantly is to review what you're putting into your flexible spending account, if they offer that. And that's one where you can put in up to $3,200 of pre-tax money and use that for prescriptions, co-payments, deductibles, things like that. With the flexible spending, you have to use it by the end of the year. So it's use it or lose it. And that's not usually too hard to do, but you need to be aware you don't want too much in there. You kind of base it on what you spent last year, that type of thing. If you know you're going to have the deductibles, it's a pretty easy call to make, but it's nice to have. You just don't want to give it away at the end of the year. And then to couple that with a health savings account, if your plan offers that, that's one, you don't lose it if you don't use it. It carries forward into the future, into your retirement. And so, funding that to some extent is a great thing to have. It's almost like another little retirement plan, because you can use it all your born days. So whatever you don't use this year goes into next year. Some plans allow you to invest part of those dollars and not just have it earning some small interest, but actually be invested. You can't invest all of it, but it can grow for a long time. So don't overlook those things when you're signing up, and it is enrollment season.
Now is the time.
Yeah.
Now is the time. So a whole lot to look at, Mark. And as you said, no one size fits all. So how can we get in contact with Edward Jones for some personalized questions and plans?
You bet. And I always suggest folks, just look at edwardjones.com, and you can search by your zip code or town, and the system will let you know who is nearby. You may recognize a name, and it's easy to find us that way, and can request an appointment online, all those sorts of electronic things.
Excellent. Well, some great reminders here today. Mark Matthews again with Edward Jones. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mary Grace.